Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. This video is mostly going to be about a topic that has been one of the central points of PC gaming and Steam for the entirety of the year, and that is censorship. Steam censorship campaign details it seeks removal of games whether legal or not, and that legality is not the defining factor. We'll talk all about that. Also, a bit of an update as far as the ongoings of censorship, so we'll talk that at the end of this video as far as Steam doing something that seems to be a little bit different as far as that's concerned. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But legality is not the defining factor. Steam censorship campaign details it seeks removal of games whether legal or not. As noted on The Gamer, over the last few weeks, a battle has been raging between digital video game storefronts, payment processors, and an Australian activist group, Collective Shout. The group initially targeted games focusing on a lot of topics that I can't say on this video because, you know, I gotta keep the lights on and we gotta pay those bills. But nonetheless, you guys already know what's going on. The group initially targeted these, more mature games, contacting Visa and MasterCard. And remember, Visa and MasterCard were used as an avenue. And that is my major issue with all of this. I know there has been talk about people involved in Collective Shout having a lot of power and they could get into having dialogue with Visa and MasterCard. However, Visa and MasterCard being the avenue in which these games get delisted from Steam and having them be the ones that rule over with an iron fist, that's the issue that I have. Because Visa and MasterCard, they have their terms and services that are outlined. However, these terms and services have existed for eons, and Steam has been available or having these games on their platform for eons as well. Now, the issue becomes Visa and MasterCard's the terms and services, it's all open to interpretation. They can wake up one day or they can be alerted by somebody and somebody can be like, hey, this platform is doing X, Y, and Z. You gotta do something about it. Well, Visa and MasterCard always have that power. They always have that perpetual power that they can be like, hey, we have our terms and services outlined. We interpret it this way. Why are you not interpreting it this way? Delist whatever we want to be delisted. And that's it. That's GG, no re. Now, ultimately, I do think they will come to an issue when it comes to delisting something that is very, very big. If let's just say, let's throw out Detroit Become Human. Detroit Become Human because Collective Shout outlined that game because they had issues with that game. Let's say that game got delisted. I think that's a game that if it got delisted, that would make headway. A Stellar Blade, a Grand Theft Auto 5, which is another game that Collective Shout did target. I think that would be a big issue. The games that got targeted at this point, yes, it's a problem because it shows us that this can happen. However, for the grander and larger gaming space, I just don't think they're gonna make as much of a big deal about it, especially because you'll have that rhetoric that's out there. It's like, bro, you're bugging out over Sex Adventures getting delisted from Steam. I think that says more about you than Sex Adventures when, if you add context to why it's getting delisted, payment processors having so much power, that is really the big issue. And the campaign has also extended further with developers arguing that the ban is harming other creators even if their games are within the confines of the law. I recently covered a game that was set to have a Steam release. Now it's not having a Steam release and they ended up releasing it on its own platform, and it was done by a woman tackling very, very dark and mature themes in a video game. And that's the big thing about it, is the utilization of very dark and mature themes to tell a story. This has been going on in various forms of entertainment and entertainment mediums for eons, and now the issue becomes the stifling of a creator's vision. If a creator has the idea of utilizing a mature theme to tell a story within their game, well, now they have that thought in their back of the head, well, if I implement this narrative piece into this game, is my game gonna be allowed on Steam? Is my game gonna get delisted? And I've seen a lot of people start to bring that up, that yes, something like this really does stifle that creative process that individuals would have with video games, books, movies, etc., etc. And in a new interview with Kayleen Roper, campaigns manager at Collective Shout, she revealed that legality is not the defining factor in the games it targets, stating that men who are defending the games perpetrate crimes of violence against women. My God, I just think, I always hate painting everybody with such a broad brush. again, I can see why certain topics being tackled in video games, that can make the stomach turn a little bit. However, to tell effective stories, a lot of the times making the stomach turn a little bit can be incredibly effective in telling the story that the creator has in mind. Now, obviously, there has to be some sort of line, and the game's delisted on Steam, I'm not going to lose sleep over, personally, and I'm not going to pretend like, oh my god, this game getting delisted, that game getting delisted, that I was going to play those games in the near future. However, it opens the floodgates. It opens the floodgates, and on top of that, that stifling of the creative process, I think, is a big problem. And again, you had a woman that was about to release a game on Steam. Her game got delisted. Now, whether or not Collective Shout was involved in that game, it could have just been an optics issue and a timing issue, but you get the idea that there are individuals out there that they're not trying to say, or they're trying to make crazy games for the sake of making crazy games, that are popularizing or trying to make these dark themes be, oh, well, let's talk about how great these dark themes are. No, they're they're effective storytelling tools, and they've always been utilized as effective storytelling tools. Now, there's obviously a slippery slope that you get into where, you know, some games can be utilizing themes as effective storytelling devices, and then other games might be just, you know, using them. However, if you're not breaking the grounds of legality, and it's not even about whether or not it's legal, it's not even about Steam having some sort of process of checking through games, it's about the payment processors having the ability to just delist the games. And again, Collective Shout, all they're using the payment processors for is an avenue. They view it as the most effective avenue to get their message across, and I have no problem in a vacuum with Collective Shout having their own opinions and having their own ideals and what they want out of the world and what they want done. There are going to be a lot of other groups like that. There are going to be a lot of other people that disagree with me, that disagree with you, and that I'm going to disagree with other people. That's fine. That's what makes the world turn. That's not a big deal. I constantly go back to the payment processors having the biggest power in all of this, and especially with their terms of service just being so open to interpretation that one day they could just wake up, they could get the right message from the right person, and then they could do whatever they want unchecked because their terms and services are something that people have to abide by. And again, if it gets to the point of something super notable getting delisted from Steam, I think that is going to open up a bigger can of worms, and at that point, I think the payment processors would just be getting cooked under the sun. I think, you know, Sex Adventures is one thing, Detroit Become Human, Stellar Blade, GTA 5, like that would be a totally different ball game. Roper also noted that while many of the games that the company initially targeted would be illegal in Australia, the organization doesn't view legality as the defining factor, noting our work focuses on combating the sexual objectification and exploitation of women and girls, so we focus our energy there. That said, we call out this objectification and abusive depictions of women and girls even when they are not illegal. Legality is not the defining factor. It is about documenting evidence of harm to women and girls. When asked about the damage Collective Shout was causing to developers who had released their games within the confines of the law, Roper stated, if Steam and itch.io had been moderating their platforms as they should have, there would have been no need to temporarily delist games to ensure that they were not in violation of their policies. Our objection has always been clearly stated on a variety of things. So they view the developers that have been wrongly affected. You're just caught in the crossfire, buddy. You're just caught in the crossfire. Even though they didn't do anything wrong, you're just kind of caught in the crossfire. So it is what it is. There was also a note going around by Dammit Bird, Gailwin G. According to Steam, early access is no longer an option for games with mature themes. The culling of adult games continues. This new response is being sent out. Thank you for your patience during the additional review. Please resubmit your app for review when you're ready. Failure. Your app has failed to our review because we're unable to support the early access model of development of a game with mature themes. Please resubmit when your app is ready to launch without early access. So I guess Steam is now putting a kibosh on games with mature themes in early access. Ready or Not was an early access game. That had some mature themes. Baldur's Gate 3 was in early access for a while. That had some mature themes. There have been a lot of games in Steam's history that have had mature themes that were in early access. Are you telling me those games wouldn't be allowed? Now, those games are at a higher level that I think, you know, it's a case-by-case basis that if it's a lesser tier game or viewed as a lesser tier game and it has mature themes, maybe they'll be a little bit scrutinizing of that. But nonetheless, that's something I wanted to mention as well. But that is going to do it for me. Again, another notable update on the censorship saga that is going on with Steam, Collective Shout, and everything like that. The payment processors, which I constantly go back to as the biggest problem in all of this. But that'll do it for me. Your thoughts down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.